many years ago, a couple of decades ago, the goal in life was to own your own home. And many young people did that. That's what they did. They bought a house and they started a family. Well, today it's a different world. It's totally a different world. But just 36% of Americans under the age of 35 own a home. That's the lowest it's been since 1982. And joining us today is real estate expert Paj Barlavi, and he is the CEO of Barlavi Realty in New York City. And it's so nice to have you with us.
Hi, Frankie. Thank you for having me on again.
Paj, the question is, why? Why is it? Is it because, for example, in my neighborhood right here in the north end of Boston, the waterfront, properties, there was a 500-square-foot apartment that just sold for $450,000. I mean, insanity. Total insanity for that amount. In Boston it is anyway. I'm sure in New York that's not insane, but for here it is. So is it because the pricing is just so crazy today?
Well, the pricing definitely is an issue. We're hitting some really all-time high sales prices in New York, like you said, Boston, San Francisco, California, Los Angeles, Miami has got such a big surge. So the prices
Paj,
have increased.
You have no idea. The building that I live in, that I rent in, on the 7th floor, dear friends of mine owned the unit. And it's the most gorgeous unit because it's more outside space than it is inside space. It's a deck. The way the building is, it's just so weird, but it's a deck that wraps the entire, almost all the way around the building except for one corner. So it
must be an amazing view.
It's an amazing view of the city, the harbor. It's just extraordinary. It's extraordinary. The Zakim Bridge, the USS Constitution, very historic, beautiful views. And there are several rooms outside that you could create. One is a room.
And it broke all the records for your building.
And right, it's sold. My friend bought it. My dear friends bought it for $2.1 million. She did some work and did the outside, had it professionally landscaped and had people come in, and it was in every magazine. The new people bought it for $2.1 million. She didn't make any money on it. She was lucky. Got her. This was a few years ago. She was lucky she got her $2.1 million back. Now, that same piece of property. And there's a bidding war, I heard, for $2.7 million. Isn't that insane?
And it's happening in a lot of the major U.S. cities. But the issue with the younger Americans is, the price definitely is something, but financing. I mean, you have students that are coming out of school, and they have these enormous student loans as tuition has increased throughout the years. And on top of it, the banks just don't give out the loans, to this risky age group. And on top of it, between having those student loans, their credit is not strong enough, and they're getting outbid by all cash buyers. I know in New York, and there was a statistic in the United States that over 65% of the homes sold this quarter was in cash. So how is a student going to compete, or a graduate student, or somebody that just graduated, going to compete with a cash buyer that's already been established, has his own business, or is making money? It's really difficult. And those days of putting 10% down, getting a loan is gone. I mean, you're looking at 20% if you have excellent credit and if you have a good, chunk of the down payment, or else you're looking at 20 to 30% down. So even a $400,000 or a $300,000 home with 20% down is $60,000. A lot of young Americans just don't have that kind of money to start.
Right. Do you feel that it is important to own property as a young professional, or are we up for more heartaches and assessment fees and condo fees and all of that? And do you think it's best to just rent And is there a downside to that?
I get this question all the time, and it really depends on the budget that you have and what you're going to be able to get. If you have a set budget, let's say of $1,500 or $2,000 a month, and a $2,000 loan would approximately be about $2,000 would be approximately $350 to $400,000 loan. So if you can find a house that fits into that $350,000, $400,000, then you might as well try to buy the house as opposed to throw that $2,000 in rent away. And I say that loosely because you're basically taking $2,000 and you're putting it into the landlord's money. You're not building equity. You're not owning anything or possessing anything, So it really just depends. The city you live in, it depends on your budget and what you're going to be able to get. As the prices rise, most people tend to go and rent. As the prices drop, you're going to get more buyers. But this also has an effect with the interest rates. So as the interest rates are so low, people are buying because ultimately your mortgage payments are going to be hopefully equal to or less than the rents. In New York, $3,200 is the average one bedroom for rent.
Right.
And $3,200 gets you about a $500,000 mortgage. So, but $500,000 is not buying you a one bedroom. It's getting you, if you're lucky, a studio.
Right, if you're lucky.
So
yes.
It depends. It really depends. In New York right now, we're getting pushed out. You're going to see more and more people renting again than buying. We had a huge surge of buyers coming through our office the first quarter of this year.
It's so fascinating, the trends. Can you do me a favor and tell everybody what the best website is and how they can get more information about what you're doing?
Absolutely. My website is www.barlavirealty.com. That's barlavirealty.com, and our direct number is 212-292-4268.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank all of you for being with us today. This has been another edition of the Frankie Boyer Show. Thanks for listening, everyone, and you make it a great day and smile.